The rain started again tonight. It always begins the same way. Soft drops tapping against the window. It's like someone gently asking to come in, seeking shelter from the cold night air that lingers outside. I opened the window slowly, the wood creaking under my touch. The air was sharp and damp, and the moment the cold wind entered the room, something inside my chest tightened. A familiar ache. Maybe it was the smell of wet grass, or the metallic scent of wet asphalt that rises after a storm. Or maybe it was the sound of rainwater running through the streets below, a low, rushing song of the city. But every time it rains like this, the same memory comes back, a ghost that refuses to fade. Her, Emily. 2 years have passed since the night she disappeared from my life, leaving only a void behind. Yet somehow, the rain still remembers her better than I do. It holds her laughter in every drop. My name is Daniel, and this is the story of the night I finally understood what love really means. I first met Emily on a rainy afternoon, much like this one, but without the biting chill of tonight. It wasn't a violent storm, just a quiet rain that covered the city like a soft, comforting gray blanket. I was running toward the bus stop, head down, trying to escape the rain, when I saw her standing there. She was holding a book close to her chest, her hair slightly damp, small drops clinging to the ends. She looked calm, too calm for someone standing in the middle of a downpour. She seemed at peace. When I reached the shelter, completely out of breath, she looked at me and laughed softly. "You look like the rain is chasing you," she said. Her voice was like a melody in the gray afternoon. I tried to catch my breath, leaning against the cold glass. "Maybe it is," I managed to say. She tilted her head. "Or maybe the rain just wanted you to slow down," she replied with a smile. That was the first thing I noticed about Emily. She never rushed through moments. She lived in them. The bus never came that day. We stood there as the light faded, but strangely, neither of us minded. From that day forward, the river became our place, a sanctuary away from the noise of the world. There is a path beside the river that curves through the city, like a quiet secret known only to us. We would walk there almost every evening, watching the water mirror the sky's changing colors. Sometimes we talked for hours about everything and nothing. Sometimes we didn't speak at all, but silence with Emily never felt empty. It was full of understanding, a presence that needed no words. One evening, as the sun was setting behind the buildings, Emily asked me a strange question. "If life were a river," she said, watching the water carefully, "would you walk upstream or to the ocean?" I laughed. That sounds like a trick question. I thought she was just being philosophical again. I thought for a moment. "I guess I would walk wherever you were going," I said. She smiled. "That's cheating," she said softly, so I thought harder. "All right, then I choose upstream." She looked curious. "Why upstream?" she asked. I wanted to give her a reason that mattered. "Because maybe that's where everything begins," I said. "I want to see where the story starts." Emily watched the water quietly. Then she said something I didn't understand at the time. "Or maybe the ocean is where everything finally understands itself," she whispered to the wind. The wind moved gently through the tall grass beside the river. For a moment, the world was peaceful. When you're in love, life feels permanent. You believe moments like those will last forever. Emily had this quiet way of filling the world with meaning. Every simple thing felt important. Coffee tasted better when shared. Music sounded deeper. And the cold nights felt much warmer. One night we were sitting on our bench when thunder rolled softly in the distance. A storm was coming. The sky was dark and rain began to fall. Emily asked, "Do you think love ever disappears?" I shook my head. No, I don't think so. I took her hand, wanting to ground her in that moment. Love doesn't disappear, I told her. It just changes shape. It adapts. It survives. Emily didn't respond. She just watched the rain falling on the river, eyes searching for something. At the time, I didn't realize she already knew something I didn't. She was preparing for the end. The night everything changed was also a rainy night. But this storm was different. It was angry. We were supposed to meet at our favorite cafe. I arrived early, like I always did, and waited. I ordered 2 cups of coffee, one for me, one for her. I watched the door, expecting her smile. 30 minutes passed, then an hour. The coffee in front of her chair slowly became cold and still. I checked my phone again and again. No messages, no calls, just the sound of the rain outside. After 2 hours, I started to worry. Then my phone finally rang, but it wasn't her name on the screen. It was the hospital. The voice on the other end was cold and professional. There had been an accident. The days that followed felt unreal. Like a nightmare I couldn't wake from no matter how hard I tried. The city continued moving like nothing had happened. Cars drove past. People laughed in cafes. But my world had stopped somewhere between that hospital hallway and the sound of the falling rain. I stopped walking by the river. It hurt too much to see the path where we once belonged together. I stopped listening to our music. I stopped believing that tomorrow had any meaning at all. Sometimes I wondered if grief was just another form of love, a love with nowhere left to go. Tonight, the rain was stronger than usual. I closed my eyes and leaned against the cold window, and suddenly I heard her voice again. If life were a river, would you walk upstream? Something inside me shifted. For the first time in 2 years, I grabbed my coat and stepped outside. The city streets were soaked. Street lights reflected on the pavement like small golden rivers. I walked slowly toward the river path. My heart felt heavy, but also strangely, finally calm. The same path, the same bench, the same quiet water flowing beneath the vast dark sky. I sat down and let the rain fall around me. For the first time in 2 years, I spoke her name, Emily. The wind moved through the trees. For a moment, everything felt completely, perfectly still. And then a strange feeling passed through me, like someone sitting beside me in that quiet place. That night, I had a dream. I was standing beside the river again, the moonlight on the water, and Emily was there, walking ahead of me. She looked exactly the same, calm, peaceful, alive. I called her name. She turned and smiled. "Why did you stop walking?" she asked me softly. "Because you left," I said. She shook her head. "No," she replied gently. "You stopped. But I can't follow you anymore," I told her. She pointed toward the flowing river. "You were never supposed to follow me," she said. "You were always supposed to keep going." "And where does it lead?" I asked. Emily smiled that quiet smile. "To the ocean," she said. "And what's there?" I whispered. Her voice became softer than the wind. "Understanding." I woke up just before sunrise. The rain had stopped. Golden light spread across the river. For the first time in years, the room didn't feel empty. I understood what she had known. Love never disappears. It simply changes shape. It becomes memory. It becomes pain. But most importantly, it becomes the quiet strength that allows you to keep walking forward. I opened the window again. Fresh morning air filled the room, smelling of wet grass and hope. I looked toward the river and smiled. "All right," I whispered, "I'll follow it to the ocean." And somewhere in the quiet morning wind, It almost felt like Emily was smiling too. This is life, a journey that doesn't end when people leave, but simply moves into a new, wider phase of being. The river has a song, you know. It sings of the mountains where it began and the sea where it goes. It reminds us that nothing is truly lost. It just flows into something larger, something deeper. I walked out of my apartment, my feet hitting the pavement with a new sense of purpose today. The streets were still wet, but the sun was warm on my back. I wasn't running from the rain anymore. I carry her with me, not as a weight that slows me down, but as a light that shows the way. She was the river, and she was the rain. And now she is the peace that comes after the storm. The ocean is far, but I can hear it now. A low roar of understanding that calls from the edge. I'll keep walking, I'll keep breathing, I'll keep loving, because that is what the river does. Love doesn't end, it just finds a new home in the silence between heartbeats. It is eternal. Like the tide that pulls and pushes, love remains. It is the constant in an ever-changing world. So I choose to walk. I choose to follow the flow. And in the end, I know I will understand it all. The river is long, but the destination is certain. Every drop of rain eventually finds the ocean. And when I get there, I know she'll be waiting, not as a memory, but as the ocean itself. Peace. Everything makes sense there. The pain, the joy, the rain, and the river. It all becomes one. So don't fear the rain, don't fear the river, just keep walking. The ocean is waiting for you too. There is a light that never goes out, even in the deepest storm. You just have to look for it. My name is Daniel, and I found my way back to the river. I hope you find yours too. Goodbye. And as the rain continues to fall tonight, I listen, not with sadness, but with a quiet, open heart. Because every drop is a reminder that life goes on. And love is the reason we keep walking. Can you hear it? The ocean is calling. It's been calling all along. We just had to learn to listen. It's a long walk, but it's a beautiful one. Don't rush. Just live inside the moments like she did. Remember the laughter. Remember the rain. And remember that you are never truly alone on this path. The story doesn't end here. It just turns a corner into the light, into the ocean, into peace. A new day, a new path, a new way to love. Keep going. The ocean is closer than you think. Fly toward the understanding. Flow toward the love. This is the way of the river. This is life. Nothing is permanent, yet everything remains. We are the river, and we are the sea. Always listen to the wind. It carries the truth. It carries the love that never truly left your side. The ocean understands, and now so do I. It's time to go home. It's time to be at peace. The journey is complete. The river has reached the sea. And in the silence, there is only love. The stars above the ocean reflect the light of 1,000 years, a constant in the infinite dark. We are all just travelers on this long, winding river, searching for our own shore of peace. But as long as we keep walking, as long as we keep moving, we are never truly lost in the storm. The journey is the destination, forever, always, to the ocean. Understanding is finally here.